However, in the meantime, we've still got the little scar down here. So at the end of the summer, not as much time on the bike as I would have liked, for one very good reason. I had a little bit of an issue with a little hernia, which has been kind of there for pretty much as long as I can remember. And it was finally getting to be a point where I couldn't just ignore it anymore. So I had to get that bad boy fixed. That means, obviously, you can't ride. Now, this hernia was in a really interesting spot because it's right in my belly button. So, you know, you don't really realize how much you need a lack of abs for everything from standing, leaning over, sneezing, coughing, laughing, until there's a great big gaping wound there. So needless to say, the bike wasn't really an option, which meant, quite unfortunately, that whilst I was really enjoying kind of back markering and doing the braids, enduros, the last one from Tokti, I had to sit out because I had a nice little knife wound just in there for a little zipper sort of situation. But the great thing is taking it seriously, taking it sensibly, listen to the doctors, and I've not tried really hard not to come back to it too soon, because as they said, if you come back too soon and it's not right, it's never going to be right. So taking it gently, but we are back on the bike. We've had a few rides, we're at the gym, slowly building things up, and a lot of those fitness horses have just run right out the door. Not that there was many there to begin with, but the adage of fitness being rented and not owned, never truer than when you're coming out post-surgery. So we're having to build that all back up. So back doing base miles at the gym, XC missions, all that sort of stuff, building. Which whilst it was a bit of a pisser that I couldn't get out and enjoy the end of the summer, the winter is a really great time to come and get those base miles in. The trails are wet, they're sodden. Riding them is just going to do damage to them, so pounding out the miles and the fire roads, actually pretty good option. And as you may have noticed, a frank absence of parts going on here. And seeing as I'm not really riding them at the moment, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to get those bearings done and fix everything else. So, you know, that'll probably be the next video, just kind of going back over and rebuilding this and getting it running probably better than it was new, because everything will be service fresh and running. Sweet. However, in the meantime, we've still got the little scar down here. Just a little reminder, the little Sharpie red line. Just reminding to keep it easy. Really weird thing with like a hernia though, because you've got that kind of like hole in your ab, and once it's like tightened up, you're not really doing anything, and you feel like you've been running, you've got like a stitch in your side. Just because everything's just got that kind of stitch in your side, just because everything's been pulled tight again to seal that hole up. And then, you know, it doesn't take much before the side kind of muscles there start to kind of feel it. So that has reminded me that all those years, all that time on the bike, all that cardio and base miles and all that stuff, the core, if you don't pay attention to that, the whole rest of it's all attached to it, isn't it? So you're only as good as your weakest part. And that core is a particularly weak part, so I have to put a little bit of time into that, which, joys, will no doubt be a right pain in the arse. But in the meantime, we just have to have fun building this and staring at it and hoping that I'll remember how to ride it again when the summer comes back around and the spring happens, and my fitness will have returned to something resembling what it once was. No pressure or anything. And to probably help with that, I should probably not put too much pressure on myself, but nothing gets you motivated like an event. So again, probably going for doing the braids. There's also the SES at Pit Fecky. Never done an SES before. 2-day event, but it's 35 minutes away. So I am doing that. And if I'm being crazy, there's a cyclocross race on the other side of the river from the house. And I might as well just put on a Hawaiian shirt and go embarrass myself and drink beer afterwards. Because it's the kind of thing that I imagine you do at cyclocross. I mean, they seem to take it pretty seriously. So someone in a bad Hawaiian shirt drinking beer, maybe, who knows? But I think we're going to pick an event or two and then just use that as a point, a fixed point to train to motivate and to force that to happen, to bring that fitness back. So yeah, that's what's happening. That's 2020.